What we're seeing here is very ominous indeed. These are pictures which tell the story. That is clearly the shuttle breaking up.
On February 1st, 2003, Space Shuttle Columbia burned up and broke apart during atmospheric re-entry during mission STS-107. The loss of America's first reusable spacecraft and its 7 astronauts who risked and ultimately gave their lives in the name of scientific discovery shocked the country. No sooner than the remains of the shuttle fell, and in some cases crashed, into Earth, the theories of what happened began to sprout up on the internet. All along the re-entry corridor, people were outside that morning taking video of the doomed craft.
Look at the chunks coming off of it!
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
I don't know, but I see what you're saying.
One video in particular has gained a lot of attention. It was shot by Dan McNew from his driveway at the Colony, Texas, looking southward. The video appears to show Columbia flying sideways at a point shortly before breaking up. People have concluded from this video that what happened differs from the official NASA timeline, leading to the belief that NASA is covering up what really happened. But what you think you see in the video is not what really happened. A simple demonstration will prove that. So I'm going to come on camera here because I'm going to do a little demonstration that's going to show or actually recreate what you saw in the Dan McNew video. Now the important thing is not so much the camera that you have, but the way that the camera's iris is manufactured. And the camera that Dan used for his video and the camera that I'm going to use in the video, the iris, it looks kind of like this. It's basically 2 blades with V-notches in them that come together. I also think it's a triangular shaped thing too. I'm not sure exactly if it's this or this, but I know that it uses 2 blades that come together. And I actually have the camera right down here. This is my old YouTube camera. So if anyone's interested, this is the model of the camera that I'm going to be using to recreate what you see in the McNew video. It's a Canon ES-290. There are the lens specs. Again, there's the model number. I have the video out, hooked up to my capture card on my computer, and I will be recording straight into that so that you can see and hear what I do. So the shuttle is up at an altitude, or at least when Columbia broke up, it was at an altitude of roughly 40 miles, 200,000 feet. That's quite a ways away, and I don't have anything in here that I can, or anything outside that will actually let me duplicate that, so I'm going to have to kind of recreate the scenario that we had in Dallas, Texas that morning with the shuttle flying high overhead. So here's what I'm going to do. So I've got my camera set up on a tripod, and in my bedroom way back there, I'm going to take my cell phone and I'm going to turn the little flashlight on, and I'm going to set it on something in there, shining this way back so that I can zoom in on it. And once I do, you'll see the effect in the video. Now, one thing that I should point out about this camera here is that it does have some semi-professional features on it. One thing it does let you do is it has a little joystick on it, and you can move a window around in the viewfinder that lets you see exactly where it is where you're exposing to. And I can actually turn that on. And I have this little joystick window here. So let's leave this on while I zoom in here. Right now I have it set so that the camera is focused on the light. Now that is zoomed in all the way to the light. And then I will hit the exposure lock button. And it's now set the exposure for light. Now I will defocus the camera. Wrong way, that's infinity. This is towards MOD. Still looks circly, but that's because the iris hasn't stepped down. I'll step the iris down, I'll hit it again. And there you have your diamond. And now I'll take the camera and focus again. That's focused. Out of focus. I'll put it back to auto. And you can see that the diamond changes as it steps up and down. I'll zoom out a little bit here. And as it opens, you can see that the diamond disappears. Force it to go back down again. So that looks an awful lot like what you saw in the Dan McNew video. Now for fun, let's try this with my GS320 and we'll see what this one does. Okay, we're rolling here on the GS320. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the teleconverter off, so that's not an issue. Now I will zoom this in all the way. Now this thing, believe it or not, well actually I shouldn't say that because it is a semi-pro camera, it does have functions on it that you would find on a professional camera like iris and focus. So I'm going to defocus this lens all the way. There we go, and then I'm going to punch. I'm going to punch up iris, and I'm going to start pumping it down. We're at f2.8, 4, 4.8, 5.6, 6.8, 8.0, 9, 11, 14, 16. Again, you get a very, very similar shape to what you see on the Dan McNew video. It looks like a spaceship flying sideways. And actually what I will do here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on my 2x converter and get a little more detail in that. So this is at f6.8, f5.6, still at 5.6. Again, it looks a lot like what you see in the Dan McNew video. Now this is zoomed out all the way, and I'll zoom back in. That'll give you an idea of just how bright, just how much light was coming off the shuttle's plasma tail as it was re-entering. And now I will put it back to autofocus and we'll see what it does here. Notice how it did not focus properly. That's because the autofocus on the camera is looking at the edges of objects for sharpness. And the sharper an object is at the end, it's going to think it's more in focus. So I'll put this into manual focus and I will properly focus it. And now that's in proper focus. So seeing what you've just seen, let's take a look at the video one more time. Notice at the start of the video there's nothing in the frame but sky. The camera's autofocus has nothing to reference, so it doesn't try to find focus. When the zoom occurs, the lens focus is set for close-in objects, resulting in the diamond shape that I just demonstrated earlier. The diamond has sharp edges, which fools the autofocus into thinking the image is in focus. The camera pulls out as vehicle breakup occurs. Panning left, trees come into frame, giving the autofocus more to reference. Zooming in again, notice the difference now that the lens is at its infinity setting. So what you just saw in the video demonstration that I did is what I feel happened on February 1st, 2003. Dan McNew in his driveway, shooting southward, zooms in with his lens set at what's known as MOD or minimum object distance, something that's very close to the lens that's going to be in focus, everything else beyond it out of focus. He zooms in and the shuttle at 40 miles, just a tiny pinprick of light, spreads out into this diamond shape that's caused by diffraction or refraction or whatever you want to call it from the iris mechanism that's deep within the camera. That's what I feel happened, that's what I feel you were looking at, and whether you like it or not, the thing that we can't forget are the 7 astronauts on board Columbia who gave their lives in the name of science and exploration. Thanks for watching.